Okay, so the 2020 USAPL RAW National Championship has been canceled. It's official. It's not going to happen. Originally scheduled for October, I want to say 16th is usually when they do it. It's not happening anymore. And in addition, they are not sending any of their athletes to the IPF Championship, the 2020 IPF Championship. I found out through a few guys on Instagram, through a few athletes of the USAPL on Instagram, they had posted the official statements. I have it here, so it reads, after continued assessment and intensive tracking of the international COVID-19 pandemic, the executive committee has voted to cancel youth, open, bench, and raw nationals for 2020. All right, in addition, the remaining two regional champions, blah, blah, blah. Additionally, USAPL Powerlifting will not send any international teams to IPF or NAPF events in 2020. Okay, yeah, again, it's great that they put it in writing. It's great that, obviously we have the official statement and it's whatever. This was going to happen. And I don't think anybody was going to go to the IPF 2020 championship anyway, at least not from the US. I don't think that was ever going to be a decision that people would be willing to make. It's a cool experience, I'm sure, but it is definitely not worth it's not even just like the health implications of flying internationally. It's also like just the safety implications as regards to getting back into the US. Like, I don't know, if you contract it, whatever, like there's no way they're letting you back on the plane on a 6-hour plus flight or however long it would be, 10-hour plus flight back to the US and bringing that shit back. Like, that just wouldn't happen. So I just don't think it would have been worth the risk for any athlete. It's kind of one of those things where you just live to fight another day, so to speak. But I'm happy that they've kind of made the official statement that they were going to restrict our top athletes, from competing in the IPF championship in 2020. I do think that was a really smart move, and it was kind of required of them to make that stance. That way, it also incentivizes and influences other countries and other competitors to do the same, to stay healthy, to stay safe, because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Yeah, very important to take care of the health and safety first, so I'm happy that they did that. Again, I do feel like this was expected. I feel like canceling the national championship was definitely expected, and honestly, I'm not really bothered by it. Like I said, like I don't know. To me, it's just another competition. Competitions are just another training day. Like, the only difference between a competition or a meet in powerlifting and your training is two things. One, you're guaranteed to be lifting on the best of equipment. All right, that's guaranteed, which is awesome. You get to perform with the best of the best stuff. But the second thing is now you've got three judges giving you a white or a red light throughout your competition. I mean, that's it. That's the only difference. So, I feel like a lot of people hype it up and they make it seem like it's a big deal, which it is. A national championship is a big deal. But again, for me personally, my perspective on competitions is very different, probably very controversial. In my mind, I see numbers, and I see records that I want to crush, not necessarily competitions I want to win. Again, I'd rather the USAPL do what it needs to do to protect its people, to make sure that everything's healthy, go through the procedures, and also follow the government's procedures. The last thing they want to do is get on the government's bad side. Do the right thing, and in time we'll have our competitions back. And that's life. Everybody's dealing with this. Every athlete in the USAPL is getting hit with this, But here's the beautiful thing about strength sports. It's such a long-term game. Like, unlike football, let's say, where, I don't know too much about football, but I would imagine that, yes, in the long term, coaches are building their team in a way that in 10 years or 5 years, they're going to be solid, they're going to be a Super Bowl team. But they also have each season to worry about, and each season they're trying to go to the Super Bowl, right? So they have X number of games, however many it is, 16, 20, whatever the games are. That's their frame, that's their limit. In strength sports, it's different. You could go 10 years of building, and on that 10th year, finally place first at nationals and have that 2K total, whatever. So strength sports is different. It is a long game. It's not. There's nothing about it that's short term, at least from what I see. So. So because of that, I don't think it's really a big deal. I don't think that. I think that keeping everybody safe now, definitely the right move. With that said, what do I think they should do? I feel like they've got a bunch of options here. And I know this might be a little controversial because, to be honest with you, many people would think it's kind of absurd to have two national championships in the same year, but I think that's what they should do. I think that depending on how things unfold, you know, in the coming months, as we all know now from what's already happened in the first half of 2020, we have absolutely no fucking clue what's going to happen over the next half of 2020. But assuming everything is like normal, or at least is in an upward trend of progress, I think that they should probably hold a competition, a national level competition, or at least a regional, no later than April, or March, really, no later than March, because I think that the IPF should, at least for 2021, still have the same date in mind, you know, for their international championship, the World Championship. So I think that's a fair goal. I think it's sometime in June, I think, something like that, whatever. Either way, that gives our athletes enough time to then prepare for Worlds. And I do think that we should be sending people to Worlds, and it should not be for 2021, and it should not be the people that made it in 2019. I don't think that that's fair. Obviously, I'm biased because I want a shot at that #1 spot, especially as a junior. That's what I see. I see taking gold at Worlds. I don't really care about state meet, local, locals or nationals. I don't give a shit about any of that. I want to hit my numbers. I want to absolutely crush world records. I don't want to break them by a kilo or a half kilo. I want to crush world records, national records, and then go in and take first and represent my beautiful country on the world stage and take home gold. That's what's important to me. So I would love the opportunity to do that. With that said, I think that they should have that meet sometime before March, maybe like February, late February, early March. And what would be dope is if they found a way to incorporate it with the Arnold. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, that would be so dope. So like, I know that they already have their meets and stuff like that at Arnold. You got to toss all that shit out the window. Making the Arnold for the USAPL a national level meet there, that would be sick. Now here's the catch. And this is going to be entirely controversial. I know some guys are going to love what I have to say and some guys are going to fucking hate it. I think nationals is too generous to athletes. I think nationals, there's too many fucking kids that compete at nationals. I don't think it's cutthroat enough. And I think that it's not a true national meet. Now, mind you, before I say this, it's very important to note, take what I say with a grain of salt. I've been training for about 8 to 9 years in all different facets, all different styles of lifting, but I've been seriously devoted to powerlifting for only a year now. And I only have 2 meets under my belt. So yes, I've been training for a really long time. I have certifications and all sorts of bullshit. But again, I've only been devoted to powerlifting for a year. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. I really do believe that for the open, 15 people per class. Like, that's it. Top it off at 15. For any subdivision or like the other, like masters, juniors, teens, cut it off at 10. 10 people per class. So if you're a 93K junior like me, only 10 people are allowed to compete. The top 10 in the USAPL in the 93 kg juniors. And I know a lot of people are gonna say like, oh, well, that's messed up. What about the discrepancy is too large, man. You can't have the top 10 guys, at a national level meet totaling, let's say, over 1,800, and then the 15th guy or the 20th guy, let's say the 20th guy or the 16th guy, whatever, anything past 15 really, is totaling like 1,600 or even 1,700, and it's like, come on, like, what are we doing? Like, that's such a big discrepancy. We don't need that, and it's just, it takes away from the credibility and the rigor of the competition. I personally would rather see the top 2 guys go head to head on the same platform at the same time, like, not the same platform, but you get what I mean. Angle towards each other, like, just make it a show, man. Make it fun, make it sick. That's what the sport needs, man. It needs spectatorship. It needs that entertainment aspect to it, right? Like, that's what it needs. And again, to me, that means cutting out all the bullshit. Like, nobody wants to, let me put it this way. Yes, it's fun to watch, Little League baseball or Pee Wee football or high-end high school level football, but at the end of the day, what do people really want to see? They want to see the elites, man. They want to see the best of the best. They want to see the Rose Bowl. They want to see the Super Bowl. They want to see like the good, the crazy shit. Like, that's what they want. The real people that put in their time, man. That are good at what they that are true athletes in their sport, mastered their craft, going at it. That's what's fun to see, because what you're gonna get. You're gonna get an experience. You're gonna get them to perform, and you're gonna get an experience in return. And that's cool. That's what powerlifting needs. And I think the problem right now is that USAPL seems to structure their company in a way that they make the most money from their sponsors and from their athletes. They don't really do much for their athletes. I'm going to be honest with you. I personally I don't mind the USAPL. I like the USAPL. I like how official it is. I like how strict it is. I like how we use the same bar for every single lift. That's one of the reasons why I went with them. And I also appreciate the fact that their world championship is a true world championship. There's only really two reasons. Strictness, and that includes the whole thing about the bar, and then also the fact that they have a true world championship. But I do recognize that they don't really do much for their athletes at all. Like, they have, like, I got invited to compete for the 93 kg junior world championship in the bench press for it would be 2020. And obviously it got canceled. And, you know, you had to buy your own, like, USA suit and all that other shit. It's like, come on, really? Like, if I earn this spot, at least give me my fucking tracksuit. You know what I mean? But yeah. So anyway, I think that their issue is that, you know, they make their money off of their athletes and their sponsors. They definitely need to buy into the spectatorship, the entertainment of the sport. They need to make it like the UFC of powerlifting, you know, and that's it. And yes, they have the method there. It's they have everything there, the strictness, all of that, the officials, all that stuff. And that stuff needs to be improved, yes, but they have it. What else they need is the spectator. They need entertainment. They need the show. And it starts with the athletes, but you have to put that responsibility on the federation as well. So yeah, so I think that if we can do that, then eventually they will start to make the national level meets true national level meets, you know, and I think that would be really important for the sport, like super, super important. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't think that you deserve to be on a national stage competing with people who are at the national level when your total is 200 pounds or 300 pounds below what the top, let's say the top 5th or top 10th guy is hitting, you know? I just don't think that that's fair. It's just not. You don't really deserve, and that includes me, by the way. Like, that totally includes me. You know, I don't know. I feel like, you know, and I get that there's the issue of qualifying and all that other stuff, but I think there are better ways to do it than having, you know, like 1 million competitors per class. But yeah, so long story short, those are my thoughts. I think that it's the right move on behalf of the looping all the way back around. I think the USAPL made the right move. They definitely should cancel 2020 Nationals, but should do a meet very shortly after when Nationals would have been scheduled, meaning March or February. You know, any earlier might come a little too close to the whole COVID timeline. Like, what was the point then of even canceling the Nationals in the first place? I get that. So maybe March or February, but yeah. And then have another their other previously scheduled meet for 2021 when it was supposed to be, which would be October. So they would have 2 Nationals in the same year, which again, to me, I don't see a big deal with that. I think that'd be pretty cool, actually. And maybe they don't call it Nationals. Maybe they call it something else. But I do think that they need a meet where you are given the opportunity to earn a spot at 2021 Worlds. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, for those of you guys who are really disappointed, I feel your pain. It sucks, but at the same time, recognize it's literally just another training day that's glorified. You know, you've got 3 judges around you, and that's it, man. It's just squatting and benching and deadlifting. That's it. Nothing special about it. You do it every day for the last X number of years. You know, that's all. That's all it is. So, you know, your time will come 100%. And for the people who are interested in getting into the sport, highly, highly recommend now. Now is the time. As soon as things start to open up, 100%. Start getting in, start getting coached, start doing it, because now everybody's been set back. So think of this time as like extra time to catch up. You know, I'm a very competitive guy. That's how I see this. Like, take advantage, get into the sport, get a good coach, whether it's online or in person, and really start building your way up. I think that this is the perfect time to get into it. Yeah, and again, I think exciting things are to come for the sport. I know Hybrid is going to be doing some really wild, unseen before shit, coming up with expos and competitions and things like that, and I'm super excited for that. But yeah, I think this is only the beginning for Raw Powerlifting. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to blow up soon if it starts to incorporate the showmanship, if it starts to incorporate the performance with entertainment. That's what we need. That's what will help things grow. I know that's controversial. Some guys aren't going to like that. Some guys like it to be underground, but it's got to grow, man. It's got to grow. It's got to grow. It's a fire right now that needs oxygen. We just got to keep fucking fanning it. So let me know what you think about it. You know, do you think it was the right decision by the USAPL? Do you think that they should have kept it, or do you think that it was completely called for? You know, do you think it was absolutely necessary and it was expected and absolutely they needed to cancel it and whatever? Let me know, and let me know what you think they should do moving forward. Peace, guys.